All right, viewers, those are the headlines and our key focus this hour. We're tracking some latest updates coming in as far as the car blast case in Delhi is concerned. We've learned that India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi has conducted a cabinet committee on security meeting, which is now concluded. The meeting reportedly addressed security arrangements and the capture of individuals linked to the terror network. After the CCS session concluded, the cabinet meeting took place as well. Meanwhile, India's Union Minister for Information Technology, Ashwini Vaishnav, has held a cabinet briefing where he has outlined that the cabinet passed a resolution on the explosion that has taken place. Listen in to what he had to say.
The country has witnessed a heinous terror incident perpetrated by anti-national forces through a car explosion near the Red Fort on the evening of 10th November 2025. The explosion resulted in multiple fatalities and caused injuries to several others. The cabinet pays its solemn respects to the victims of this senseless act of violence and conveys its heartfelt condolences to the bereaved families. The cabinet prays for the speedy recovery of all those injured and appreciates the prompt efforts of the medical personnel and emergency responders who have been providing care and support to the victims. The cabinet unequivocally condemns this dastardly and cowardly act that has led to the loss of innocent lives. The cabinet reiterates India's unwavering commitment to a policy of zero tolerance towards terrorism in all its forms and manifestations.
These updates come as investigators continue their probe. Dr. Mohammad Umar, a former lecturer at Al-Falah University in Faridabad, is now the prime suspect. Authorities believe that Umar was the sole occupant of the vehicle that exploded near the Red Fort, in which 12 people lost their lives. Now, the National Investigation Agency has taken over the case amid suspicions that the bomb may have detonated prematurely under police pressure from recent arrests. Delhi police have also identified 3 alleged co-conspirators, Dr. Adil Ahmed Rathar, Dr. Muzammil Shakil and Dr. Shaheen Shahid, all with medical backgrounds. Al-Falah University has denied any link to the suspects or the storage of hazardous materials on campus. Of course, the 2 doctors formerly working in Jammu and Kashmir, later associated with Al-Falah University in the NCR region, have come under the radar. We of course know that Dr. Muzammil was terminated from his government service in J&K by the LG's order earlier. And in fact, another doctor, Dr. Nisarul Hassan, has now also been taken into police custody for questioning regarding possible links to a terror module. Investigations are of course underway. Security agencies are probing deeper into their connections. Remember, this all started with JEM posters, that is posters of the Jaish-e-Mohammed being put up in Srinagar, which led to the J&K police conducting a manhunt behind who exactly was putting this up. It had led them to Dr. Adil Ahmed Rathar. He was a former senior resident, at Government Medical College in Anantnag. They had recovered an AK-47 from his locker at the hospital and traced him later, nabbed him from Saharanpur, and then he'd squealed, which revealed the larger plot and led to the recovery of 2,900 kilograms worth of bomb-making material, which was then seized. Joining us on the broadcast is Major General Shashi Asthana, defense expert from New Delhi. Thank you so much for taking our time and speaking to us on the broadcast. The car, of course, was driven from Faridabad to the Red Fort, the same location, Faridabad, where, as I mentioned earlier, the bomb-making material was seized. This, of course, points to a whole nexus that was then uncovered by India's intelligence agencies. Clearly, considering the sheer amount of the material that was recovered, something catastrophic was being planned, which was then successfully busted and thwarted. But this particular blast did take place after the whole raid and the revelations regarding the larger raid had come to light. I want to understand from you then, was this particular blast then a premeditated plan, or could the prime accused, in a bid to attempt to flee in the aftermath of these raids, trigger the detonation on his way to escaping?
See, given the circumstances and the sequence of events which you just narrated, it is quite evident that once the plot was uncovered, then Dr. Umar, he knew that he will be caught. Maybe it's a matter of time. And therefore, perhaps he thought that whatever explosive he has in his car, he can flee with that car and then perhaps do something before he is caught. So maybe that it could be a panic reaction, or maybe that it could be a accidental blast because he was carrying those detonators. But what is important is that this was certainly not a prepared charge or a prepared, shall I say, a bomb, because that could have been more devastating.
Indeed.
Given the amount of explosives which they had.
Indeed, there was no crater also. There was no crater also that had been formed over there. So experts, as you've also pointed out, have been stating that this might have been incomplete at the moment. On the other hand, we're getting some fresh news coming in. We do know that the NIA has taken over the probe, but some fresh developments. We're now learning that a team of the NSG has arrived at Khandawali village, where the police have seized a red eco sport suspected to be linked to the prime suspect, Dr. Umar un Nabi. There were, of course, reports circulating around earlier that apart from the Hyundai i20 that was bought by Dr. Umar's brother earlier, there were two other cars, including a red EcoSport that was also bought. But in the larger scheme of things, I also wanted to understand this whole nexus that has been, unveiled, that has been revealed regarding the Faridabad module, or whether it is Dr. Mohammad Umar, Dr. Adil Ahmed Rater, or even Dr. Shaheen Shahid from Lucknow, Dr. Muzammil Shakil, who is also a part of the Al-Falah University, and what's taken place in Hyderabad as far as the recovery by the Gujarat ATS regarding the sheer amount of ricin and castor oil that was recovered, which was allegedly an ISIS Khorasan province plot as well. Yeah. All of these are highly educated medical professionals who've been engaged in plotting these attacks. What does this speak of radicalization?
See, let me explain whatever you have narrated in a professional manner. See, we call it as fourth generation warfare. And in this warfare, what happens is that these terror groups also reinvent that if you can target and radicalize the educated people who are responsible in the society, like doctors, then the chances of deniability and the chances of detection they reduce, number one. Number two, these are self-actuating groups because their motivation level as well as the understanding level is little higher. So this is a new model which is coming up, not that the IS has used it earlier as well. And as you mentioned very rightly, the biological terrorism model which was being uncovered in Gujarat, that was also part of the IS only. So all these terror groups, they also learn after every episode. Now they know as to, with the direct terror attack like what happened in Pahalgam, action which India did. So perhaps they may be looking for an action where the deniability is more and where the involvement is of the local people and local educated people whose detection becomes difficult. So this is the plot in which they have worked, and apparently now whatever has been uncovered is one part of it. I think there was information to say that there's some more explosive is still missing, and that's how we have landed up with the second car. So maybe that some more revelations come as the investigations progress, but certainly with the amount of explosive which has been uncovered so far, it could have been a much dangerous and a much bigger, shall I say, episode or unpleasant episode. However, the fact is that our security agencies and intelligence agencies, they did uncover a lot, and a fair amount of action has been taken by them, for which they need to be commended for avoiding a major mishap. Because you see, like it or not, the fact is that everything, the chain reaction has started after we caught, these agencies caught somebody who was putting the posters in Srinagar of Jaish-e-Mohammed. Now
Yes.
that is where the trigger started. So that means we were proactive, and it's not that it was a passive reaction. And we have been able to catch them off guard and not been able to give them the chance to prepare a proper bomb, which could have caused much more damage than what it was caused. Although every single life is costly and for the country, and we feel sad of about
Absolutely.
every casualty which we suffered, 12 of them and 30 odd injured. So we recover, we hope early recovery for them. But then the fact is that we are proactive, and I'm sure with the kind of resolve which we have, we will be able to uncover these plots. Otherwise, as far as the activation of sleeper cells is concerned, and the concept of this warfare,
Yes.
that is there, and that perhaps we will have to be a little more careful as far as the radicalization part is concerned, and we will have to literally scratch our brain as to how we prevent the radicalization of the educated lot and the professionals.
Indeed. So where does the buck stop then? The Jaish-e-Mohammed?
Certainly, the as of now, whatever the government has declared is that it is a terror attack.
Yes.
They have yet not named. The government has yet not named Jaish-e-Mohammed, although there are adequate evidences that Jaish-e-Mohammed was behind it. But as and when the linkage gets established in the manner, and it is declared in that manner, maybe certain more actions may follow.
Indeed. And one quick last question. The prime suspect used to teach at Al-Falah University. Another one of the doctors who has been also now nabbed by the police was also part of the faculty at the Al-Falah University. There's been now a third doctor, Dr. Nisarul Hassan, who was earlier terminated by the Lieutenant Governor of Jammu and Kashmir over alleged anti-national activities from his post as the president of the Doctors Association of Kashmir, who is also at the Al-Falah University. The university has, of course, put out a statement that these doctors were performing their duties in an official capacity, and there is nothing on the campus itself. But is this a mere coincidence, or should the agencies also focus on where exactly the university gets its funds from, and why is it that 3 people with linkages to this particular university have now been part of this terror plot?
I think the university appointments and the chairholders, they all must be investigated thoroughly. For the simple reason, because 2,900 kilograms of explosive, it's not a joke.
Yes.
And accumulating that amount cannot happen without anybody not knowing it. Secondly, as far as we are concerned, as far as India is concerned, let me put it in non-certain terms, that we have to fix this problem of the collaborators not being convicted appropriately. This has happened, lingered for quite some time. There are far too many sympathizers of the collaborators when they get into trouble. And unfortunately, they don't get the kind of treatment and the kind of punishment which they deserve, because they are no less culprit than the actual terrorists. Now, in this particular case, I would say that the officials of the Al-Falah University, either they were ignorant, so then they need to be thrown out if they were ignorant, and if they knew about it, then they are collaborators and should be dealt accordingly. So I don't think we should take it at the face value that they were all performing their jobs very well. Similarly, what is their system of recruitment? If somebody was terminated in Kashmir, how did he get a job so easily in Al-Falah University? And while conducting those interviews, I'm sure somebody is supposed to check as to what were you doing last time, and how did you leave the previous job. So there are far too many questions which I'm sure the investigative agencies will find answers to, because presuming that now everybody will say, all their relatives will say, no, we don't know anything. But that is quite natural. Investigators have to perhaps go deeper, and I'm sure they will do.
All right, Major General Asthana, I'd like to thank you for taking our time.